Can somebody get Tyler a code? All right, Cam.
This part.
Where'd you get the part, Cam?
I just made it the other day.
Cool. How'd you make it, Cam?
What do you mean?
How did you make it?
I don't know, I just made it up.
Okay. Cool. All right, go ahead. Can you demonstrate how you made it? Just roll your bar back a bit.
Sure.
Show us your sketches.
I did the posts, and then I put the top on, and then I put in these cross beams one at a time, and then I shelled the bottom.
How did you put the gusset beams in?
These ones?
Yeah.
I have a sketch in the middle, and then I use it for both sides.
Got it. All right. Cool.
So if you don't already, on your tabs, if you don't have one that says simulation, if you go under add-ins, you can click here and it'll activate the simulations, and then it will show up in here. There you go, simulation. It's going to take a second there. So you'll notice everything is grayed out except for new study. So that's the first thing. When you start a new study, it'll give you a whole bunch of options. But we're just going to start with the very first option, which is static. And if you want, you can name it. Test. And check mark. And it shows up down here along with your motion studies. This is where all of your simulation studies will appear. Up here. And the simulations have their own feature tree, which is separate from that of your part. And we can kind of use the feature tree and this up here, step by step, until we finish it. So the first thing you want to do is apply a material. And it's just like applying a material like you would otherwise, but it only defines the material in the context of the simulation. It doesn't actually change the material for the part. So I guess we can just pick alloy steel, and it'll tell you all the numbers apply. You'll notice it changed color. So now we have a material. The next step is this here. If you click the drop-down menu, we're going to select fixed geometry, anchor. And as you can see in the diagram, what we're doing is anchoring a face, so it will stay still, and then the rest of the part will move based on which face you anchor. So I'm going to anchor the bottom faces, and these faces will now not move at all. And just make sure it's on fixed geometry, and these green arrows will show up even after you press check mark. They're going to stay there to show you which faces are anchored. And you'll notice it appears under your feature tree here. Now the next step, we're going to actually put a force onto the part. So there's lots of different types of forces you can pick from. We'll just do the most basic one, just force. And it's going to want you to select a face to apply the force to. So we're going to apply it from the top. And Solidworks will try to guess what direction you want the force. You can see right now the arrows are pointing down, so Solidworks guessed right. But if it doesn't, you can click select direction, and then you can manually select which direction. So if I select this edge here, now you can see the arrows are pointed down, which is what we want. And the last thing is to change the amount of force. So let's say we want to apply 100 newtons. Check mark. You can see those arrows are still there, so it's showing you where the force is. And it'll be under your feature tree here. The next thing, this connections advisor, we don't have to worry about that because it's just one part. You would use this if you were doing an assembly and you had multiple parts that you wanted to connect. Now the last thing here, you'll see mesh. If you want, you can add a mesh, which basically just divides the part into little tiny triangles. But when you run the study, SolidWorks does this on its own. So you don't necessarily need to do that unless you have like a really complicated mesh that you want to do. But we don't have to worry about that. So once we have our anchors and our force, we can run the study up here and see it's creating its own mesh. And now it's going to solve it. And so it looks pretty cool. You're going to see a whole bunch of colors. It's very colorful. And along here, this is kind of your legend. So it's showing you the parts in blue are the least stressed, and the parts in red are the most stressed. You can see under here. And you also notice under your feature tree, you'll have things under your results here. There's 3 different results that it gives you. And the one that's bolded is the one that it's showing you. So right now it's showing us stress, but we can also double click and it'll show us the displacement. So which part of the part is being displaced the most. And we can select strain and it'll show us which part is the most strained. We go back to stress. You also notice that the part is curved under the force. And so it's pretty cool how it can do that. If you don't like that though, up here you just unselect deformed result and it'll show you what the part looks like normally, but it'll keep the colors. But I kind of like when it's squished like that. It's kind of cool. And the last thing I'll show you is if you right click on one of your results, it gives you a whole bunch of options here. So what we can do is animate the result. And if we slow it down a bunch, you can see how it slowly moves under the force. That's pretty cool. And you can save it too if you want, just like you would a motion study. And you can change the amount of frames too. This is the number of frames. Make it more. And that's pretty cool. Is that about it, Woods? Woods is muted.
Let's try that. There we go. Can you keep presenting? And do me a favor, go into, I want to add a certain level here. You see those legs are bosses as the angled parts. What I want to do is go do a configuration with and turn some of them off and then apply the same weight and then see what the outcomes are. So if you could go to, I think this will work. I haven't done it in a while. So hit configuration, right? And add a new one, say 2 supports. Actually, go 4 supports first. Go 4 supports. Yep, and go enter because that's what we got now. Now go 2 supports. Add another one. I always name the one I just finished and then I start turning stuff off. And then let's go no supports. That ought to be fun. At least I think it'll be. No supports. Okay. And all right. And now let's go to, all right, no supports. I'd like to see an analysis of that and different materials. So right now we have what? No supports. So do me a favor, just take all your cross supports, your bosses, and just suppress them for me.
Which
so
one?
Go to number 7.
Yep.
Right click and suppress. There you go. And then go one up and you get the general idea. We're just turning stuff off. And I always find, I never planned for my models to do this, but it always seems that that's the way I do it. I model everything and then I start turning stuff off. Now go do your analysis with that. So go do a new test.
You want me to name it?
Let's try number 6, or let's just say no supports. Yeah, there you go. And then boom. And then same amount of load, same anchor points, exact same material. And then let's see what we get. It should squish like a can, but, and you got to anchor the bottom.
Good.
Yeah, let's give it a go. See what happens. Boink. You know, a little bit different. A little bit different. Not quite the results I was thinking. It's sort of all bent together, right? Those 45s. Now do me one more and make it out of aluminum as opposed to steel.
Do you want me to just change it and run it again?
Yeah. And
What
I
do you
think just go in and make it 6061 aluminum. Go down, scroll down. I don't care which aluminum you use, but 61 T6. Go down. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I picked that number because it's a very common number. And then run the analysis. Is that it? Can't be.
Yeah, run it and restall that.
Cool. So I was trying to get some really different results. What I'd like to see is I figure because we've anchored those feet, it's as if we bolted them to the floor, and they're not allowed to spring out. If you were to put a mass amount of force and get that deformation on an actual table, it would actually just go like, you know, a heavy weight on something would just go splat right down. But because we've anchored those, I feel, to the floor, they're fixed. They're not allowed to slide out. I would imagine that the legs would keep perpendicular to that top surface. So as the top deformed, I would imagine the legs going out. But it's an example of, you know, how if you don't define it the way the real world is, you don't really get the right answers. But that's pretty cool. So what I'd like you to do, guys, is give that a go. And I'd like you to go and design your own table and do some improvements on it, whether it's material, whether it's a couple of bosses. And I want you to start with a problem like this and how to make it stronger. So for example, on this one, maybe Cameron might want to put some reinforcements to bridge that center part. So Cam, if you can just get out of there. And can you just add to your model, turn it upside down. And on the bottom of that X, I just want you to put a 1/4 inch wide rib and attach it to the leg, will you? So yeah, from that leg to the other leg, 1/4 inch, say, I don't know, 1.5 inches high. So draw on that face.
This face?
And draw me a line.
Just from the origin?
Actually draw it off and just make sure it's bigger than the legs. I wish I could grab your mouse right now, I'd show you, but yeah, something like that. Click and go to the other leg. Oh yeah, actually that might have been a better way of doing it. Go there and then offset it 1/4 inch. We could use rib function here, but
yeah, I've never used that.
Yeah, I have hit or miss. Sometimes it doesn't like to do what I want it to do because I try to do tapers with it and stuff. Now offset that 1/8 inch both ways. What I want that to be solid. You know what I mean? You see where I'm going?
Not really, no.
Okay, delete that for me then. Let's do it a little different. Let's different drawing style. Go over to the white space, nowhere close to the part. And draw me a line on a 45-degree angle. So just take a line, more, okay? Good. Now draw another line. Actually, offset that 1/4 inch, will you? So go offset 0.25. All right, and then connect the ends, make it a box. Good, and the other side, beautiful. All right, so now drag that box, that thing onto your face where we want it and connect it to the corner and go all the way along.
Like that?
Yeah, something like that. Sure, that'll get us where we want to go. And it might keep going, sorry.
How far do you want it?
Attached to the other leg. Okay, and then make it inch tall.
Extrude?
Yeah. And make it 1.5 inches. That's 100th. Make it 1 inch. Yeah, let's try that. And green check mark.
Oh, great. It doesn't
What
like that.
happened? Why won't it like that?
It's giving us 0 thickness. Because of the
Oh,
core.
so move it into the leg. Disconnect it from there. It doesn't like the fact that we put on that point. So actually, yeah, go ahead. Whatever you want to do. See if you can fix it. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Fix the other end. So it doesn't like how the point hits that. It wants to have some inside. Yeah. And then say, okay, go ahead.
There.
And then go do your study again and just see how that impacts on your study. I expect that the center shouldn't sag as much, right? I hope. Not as much, right? It's not as yellow, I believe, right? So you can take a picture of that and see. The blue is showing how it would sag, but I would expect a strengthening rib like that to increase on its support and stability. And if you extended that all the way to the floor, I would expect that table not to bend much at all. Anyways, play around, see if you can get some different results. This is what engineers would do is, oh, it's bending. How do I stop it from bending? Oh, let's analyze this. Let's analyze that. What's the impact of this? What's the impact of that? And you just keep playing around until you get the geometry. I used to work on a plastic part for a door, and I remember the engineers came in and they want the big thing with automotive guys, they want to build it stronger and lighter. And they spent oodles of money doing this one part and thinning the rib out to make it as thin as possible. And we're taking a few hairs out every time. And it just took them forever. But the cost savings over 1 million or 2 million parts is huge. And the failure part of it is embarrassing. So they don't want to fail. So this is how you engineer stuff. Trial and error in cyberspace. All right. So play around with that. See if you can get some drastically different outputs by modifying your existing geometry. All right. Okay. Everybody get to work. You got lots to do. I'll post that as soon as it comes